Hello and welcome to Mad Merlin Mumbles. So this is a series where I mumble about hobby stuff. And yeah, first off, let's do a quick catch up on what I've been up to in my hobby. So for those of you who don't follow my Instagram or Facebook, you won't know what I do outside of my videos. So first off, let's talk about my return to Hoth project. This is my Star Wars Legion Battle Force project, where I'm building two armies that will eventually face off against each other on the tabletop on a 3x3 board. So the board itself, I've stripped back the original grassy fields that I had built about 3 years ago. I turned it over the other day, looked at it and said, that's not my best work. So it's been torn to pieces. I saved what scenic materials that I can, which is mostly like mosses and stuff that I was able to tear up easily and put back into my terrain box. But the rest of it I've just been peeling off in strips, and I will probably sand down and then start gluing on my styrofoam and plaster, ready for creating my snow battlefield. So yeah, I've also hit a hitch with my Hoth project. My super glues, both of them have decided to seal themselves shut, and as I don't have a suitable brush to use with glues, I am kind of stuck really until I go out and actually get some glue, which might be Thursday. Might not be, depending on the weather at the moment. So I was hoping to pick them up yesterday when I went out for Yu-Gi-Oh! Club, but totally forgot about it, even though I was in Smith's and they probably had like buy one get one free on it as well. So, but I will pick some up at some point and I can start building. I have built a squad of Tauntaun riders, so that's something. Just need to get them sprayed at some point. Okay, get started. 40k is nearly done. I've filmed and I'm about to start editing video 5 part 2, the paint guide. So that'll be focusing on the Overlord and the Firmware Exchanger Shrine. It's going to be a bit different to my previous paint videos because I've tried a different angle for my setup. It seems to have worked. We'll see what it looks like in the end result. But yeah, I've only got really, I'm trying to hopefully wrap it up before the end of the year, but we are dangerously close to the end of the year, so it might not happen at the moment. I've got a special I need to first of all script and then figure out what I'm going to use for the basic material on my Necron. I've also got to work through the scripts for episode 6, which will be 3 videos still. It'll be a paint guide special, so it'll be focusing on small details we've overlooked already. There will be... I've forgotten already. The battle, of course. I've got episode 5's battle of film as well. So we learn about characters in episode 5. In episode 6, we just use everything we've learnt, everything from the box, and we play a rather big battle to see who's the winner. And then the final video in the Get Started series for 40k will be a next steps. It'll be a fairly short video, just my thoughts on what to expand your Necron and Space Marines from the Get Started, from the Command Edition box. Yeah, so yeah, keep an eye out for that. Like I said, it's going to be a while because I need to film it and edit, and that is... I'm getting more and more time to film at the moment because there's less and less that we'll do on the farm at the moment because most of the animals are in. So we'll have to wait and see. Moving on for next year, though, we do have 2 Get Started on the cards. I might be doing those in alternate stages. But the first is a Middle-earth strategy battle game. I'm a big fan of Middle Earth, especially the Lord of the Rings films. Weren't too keen on the Hobbits. They just made up way too much extra stuff that wasn't needed. But big fan of the Lord of the Rings films, and the new starter set has just been released. The Battle for Gileath, featuring Faramir and his Rangers against Gothmog and his Orc Hordes. So that's going to be a nice set to have. It's going to be I'm going to end up with like close to 90 Morannon Orcs, I think, nearly. Because I've had, 2 sets of Pelennor. There's 30 in each of those. And then this one's also got 30. So yeah, I'm going to have close to 90 Morannon Orcs. That's more Orcs than I need, I think. But we also do get, of course, the brand new Gothmog model. We get another troll, so that'll be my 3rd troll. And like I said, we get a small detachment of Rangers and also some Gondor soldiers to use. I'm going to be probably trying to convert some of them up to look a bit more like Osgiliath veterans, which would be quite nice. But yeah. And we get Faramir, Damrod, and I keep forgetting the other guy's name. Put it in the comment section if you remember it before I do. Madriel, is it? I think. Yeah, might be. So yeah. My stock for that, my box for that has arrived at my local stockist, which I've got to pick it up for my... don't tell myself this, but it's going to be for my Christmas present. So yeah. Christmas special is going to be that. It's going to be awesome. We're going to dive into the box, look through it all, figure out what we're going to do, and yeah, just have a good time looking through our models. And our second Get Started for next year, which is already in the early stages of production, I'm working on scripts, is for Star Wars Legion, and it'll be using the Galactic Civil War box because I'm a big softie for the original trilogy. I might... no, I was going to keep the... I might paint the Rebels and sell them off after the series is done because I got more than enough Rebels. But I'm definitely keeping the Imperials because it'd be nice to have some more generic ones. I've done rather funky colour schemes on mine. It'd be nice to have just some regular Stormtroopers to use in my games. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that. Scripts are done, and I just need to order a Jedi robe to use as costume material for the introductions on those videos. Alright, moving on then, we'll look, next topic is the Imperium Journey. So this is my biggest series on the channel, and as you may or may not know, Imperium has been extended for an extra 10 issues. What those issues are, we don't know, or we will know though on December 1st when Warhammer reveals the information. So we've got a few days yet, but we still have plenty of time for speculation. My speculation is, and always will be, I think we're going to get 4 vehicles from the combat patrols. So we'll get the Impulsor, the Soritas Rhino, the Onega Doomcrawler, and the Doom/Night Scythe. That'll give us some vehicles and a flyer to make use of the rules. I would like to see a few more infantry kits, especially for the AdMech, maybe some extra stuff for the sisters. We'll have to wait and see. And I also do think we are going to get the Indomitus through with the Blade Guard, Eradicators, Judicia, Chaplain, Ancient, and I'm sure there was something else on that frame. No, I think that was it. Yeah, so the Blade Guard Ancient, the Blade Guard, the Eradicators, Judicia, and the Chaplain. Most of those I've already got, but some of those have been put towards different armies. So I don't have any Eradicators. Yes, I do have Eradicators on my Ultramarines. I think I painted my second set, was it? I can't remember. But I have got the Blade Guard for my Ultramarines, and I've got... But I haven't got a lot of the characters for my Ultramarines, though. Got the chaplain, which I bought second hand, and that's about it. So it'd be nice to add those to my force either way, if we do get them. Of course, we don't know if we are getting them yet. Like I said, I'd like to see some more variety of units, especially for the AdMech and the Sisters, because the Space Marines have a good sized force with the upcoming Phobos stuff. So we really do want some, not so much for the Sisters, but definitely for the Adeptus Mechanicus side. I really feel they've underdone us on that. We could really do with some other units. I'd like to see the Sulphur Hounds, maybe even the Rust Stalkers. Those are some really classic one's a classic AdMech kit, one's a fairly newer AdMech kit, but they are both awesome kits, and definitely like to see those used a bit more. So yeah, that's it for Imperium. Oh no, the mystery character pack has been revealed, which is going to be Inquisitor Greyfax. So we'll be getting that, not this delivery, but next delivery, so just before Christmas, with delivery issue 70 onwards. So that'd be quite nice. Can't wait to get that. I've been after Greyfax for a few years now, but never did get around to picking her up. So it'd be quite nice. She is only a tenner, so which is pretty good actually for Greyfax. She's 18 normally. So we get her and a magazine, which is awesome. So the magazine will come with background information on Greyfax, maybe some of the battles she's done, maybe a short story featuring her. And then it's going to obviously have the build guide, the paint guide, rules, and a mission for you to play. Right, final bit before we get into the down the theory hole, as they call it, is my New Year, New Army. I've already made a start on it, so it's not much of a secret, but it is going to be a Blood Angels Firstborn army. When I first started, Blood Angels was probably the army I dedicated myself most to out of all the armies I collected over the years. Well, until I started the Crimson Fists. But I just loved Blood Angels. I loved Tycho. He was one of my favourite characters. Of course, he's dead, so they might discontinue that character, and his model's old anyway, so I don't really see them keeping him alive. They'll probably do a Yarrick on him and get rid of him. Same, I think, for a lot of the Ultramarine characters. When we get Space Marine 2.0, we're going to probably see a lot of characters disappear. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a small Blood Angels force. I've written the 1,000-point list already. I'm only missing the Bile Predator from that list, so I just need to get one of those at some point. And I've got a tactical squad, which is actually technically one man short, but I should have some spare bits somewhere I can make a guy up. I've got a librarian, a lieutenant who's Death Company. I've got 5 Death Company which need to be built, 5 Assault Marines, and a Devastator squad. So I got a pretty good start to a Demi Company already. So can't wait to finish collecting that and get it all started. Right, from this point onwards, we are going into Wild Theory mode. So, turning over my script. This is the part of the video where we're going to talk about the upcoming narrative, the Arcs of Omens. So, as we know from the recent reveal show, the new campaign books have been revealed, which are the Arcs of Omens, and our first 3, which focus on Chaos. So our first one's Abaddon, so this is going to be the big setup for everything that's going to come. The second one will be Angron, so we'll see him emerging at the same time. I think the World Eater Codex is going to drop, so we'll be getting that January-ish, I think. And then we got Vashtor, which is our brand new demon guy. Don't call him a demon prince, because he's not a demon prince, he wants to become an actual god, so he's got a bit of an inferiority complex, I think, somewhere along the lines. But yeah, it's a brand new character. It's going to up the story. A lot of theories at the moment are, as he's a god of creation, he's going to create a weapon for Abaddon. Abaddon and Angron are going to use that weapon on possibly Imperium Nihilus, as it's a bit cut off and hard to get to, which will lead into my final section on the last 3 books, because my next next I'm going to talk about the 4th book onwards. So we know that the 4th book is going to be focusing on Xenos. I have this theory that we are going to get 9 books in total, 3 for each faction. So we've got the 3 Chaos, we'll then get 3 Xenos, and finally we'll get 3 Imperium. So for the 3 Xenos, a lot of the rumours are pointing to Farsight, with his expanding 5th sphere for the Tau. So he's going to be getting a brand new big model, because he's still, I believe, a Finecast model, which is kind of annoying. Farsight, if I did do Tau, I probably would have done Farsight, but I just, for some reason, there's something about the Tau aesthetic I don't like, and I just can't get on with it very well. I've tried it twice now, and yeah, I just lost interest both times. I even tried painting up just a squad of 10 Tau and an Ethereal to use in a D&D type game, and yeah, they sat in a box half finished for about 3 years. But yeah, that's going to be book 4 of the Arcs of Omens. So book 5 and 6 will also be Xenos, and I've got, I think, a short list of 3 contenders that could be for the book spots. So we know, first off, that Tyranids are going to be the enemy faction for the 10th starter set, or so rumours are saying, at least. So I'm thinking there's been whispers for years now that we are going to be getting either the Norn Queen or a creature of similar proportions, maybe an avatar for the Norn Queen. So Norn Queen is like the big bad of all the Tyranids. She's the one that controls all the hive ships and everything. And we know that Baal has been devastated pretty much by the Tyranids. The demons turned up to help the Blood Angels, but then turned on the Blood Angels, so it's not gone very well for the Blood Angels. And we'll hopefully be seeing something new for Tyranids. They'll be getting new models, at least. We know. We don't know. We think. We theorize. So yeah, that's one of the contenders. Second, this only came to me this morning after someone mentioned it in a video. But my second contender for the Xenos books will be Abjural Vect. I originally put this as oh, I've forgotten who I did. I did put a list up on Valrak's channel about three people I wanted to see. But I'm going to say Vect is going to be a good contender. We know he's raising more and more power within Kimura. He's been absent from the lore for a while now. The last model he had was 3rd edition with the old metal one on the Raider. So it'd be nice to see him return. We know that a lot of the resin models from the Dark Eldar range have been pulled from the web store. So that's usually a sign that we will see some form of a new wave of updated models, which would be cool, because I do love the Racks and the Grotesques, but the Grotesques are Finecast, and you have a single pose which has 2 options for its arms. That's it. Yeah, really, I think Vect ahead of a new wave of Dark Eldar would be quite nice. Might even make me return to Dark Eldar. I was trying to do a Dark Eldar Force last year, because their combat patrol was it was the only combat patrol that I really enjoyed the look of, because it had 2 vehicles. It had a Raider and a Ravager, had 10 Cabalite Warriors, an Archon, and 5 Incubi. That was an awesome looking force, just a nice starting army. But sadly, I lost my drive for it and gave up, and I sold it all not too long ago, actually. Plus the extra stuff I got off a friend of mine. So the third contender I'm putting for this, it's kind of a personal choice, because it's a character for my favourite Necron dynasty, the Saltec dynasty. I just love that classic gunmetal silver and the green with accents of black. And I'm thinking we need to see a brand new Imhotep the Stormlord. We know that he is a big contender and hater towards the Silent King. He wants to rule the entire Necron race. And I believe there was a new story about Guilliman and the Silent King facing soon. So it would be nice if we see Imhotep return beefed up, ready to take on the Silent King and possibly take over the Necrons for himself. Like I said, that's just my personal choice for it. We might not see that because, frankly, I think we're going to focus on factions that haven't had an update in a while, which would be Dark Eldar, Tyranids, and the Tau. Well, if Tau have had the Fire Warrior team for Kill Team, that's about it. But the other factions have not had a lot of stuff recently. So I reckon for those three factions will be the Xenos focus. So Tau, Dark Eldar, and Tyranids. Whew, okay, we're only halfway through. So we've covered Xenos, we've covered Chaos. The only other major faction is, of course, the Imperium of Man. When it comes to the Imperium of Man, there are many other sub-factions. Most of those factions have had an update recently. The most recent, the Imperial Guard. While I would love to see perhaps the Inquisition get something, especially now we've had the Kazakin, because they'd be awesome stormtroopers. I'd love to see new Inquisition characters. I'd also like to see new Grey Knight models, but really the Grey Knights, they had Crow back along, but we still really have our models are like that and Crows like that. So yeah, there's a bit of a size issue. So it would be nice if we get something some point, but I'm not holding out much hope. But the big seller for Warhammer in general is, of course, Space Marines. And I hear you, yes, we've had enough Space Marines to last us to the 41st millennium, really. But the theory for 10th edition box is it's going to be a jump pack focused with maybe even Terminators. Very close combat-y focus for the Space Marine side against Tyranids, which are going to have a whole load of new stuff as well. But the most recent chapter that got an update was the Black Templars, and that was an awesome thing until, of course, they did a limited release and I missed out, and frankly it's ruined me getting excited for any other army or for anything really, because there's always that fear of missing out, and frankly I'm fed up of missing out. So even though now they've guaranteed that you'll get a box, I just don't get that hype anymore. Anyway, I was gone off track again. So yes, for the Imperium, we'll see chapters. The two I think that will get something, because they haven't had something for a long time, and these are also heavily in the rumour mill, by the way. So the chapters are the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels. So this is my particular theory for the storyline. So we know Arx Roman is going to be kicking off Abaddon. I'm thinking Abaddon is going to be heading for Baal to beat Dante, because he knows Dante is one of the strongest figures the Imperium has, and he wants to beat the living snot out of him. So they will go into a big battle against each other. Abaddon and Dante will fight. Dante will get defeated, close to death. The Sanguinor will appear, merge with Dante to become a pretty much incarnate / avatar of Sanguinius. He won't kill, but he will beat back Abaddon, and he then becomes like a shining light to the darkness of the Imperium Nihilus. So book one would probably be focusing on Dante, or possibly even just a Sanguinaur, because a lot of people think that the Sanguinaur is like the essence of Sanguinius reborn. And he does have a lot of connection with Dante, because most of the times he's been seen, it's been battles involving Dante. So hopefully that will be on the cards for the future release. Book 2 of the Imperium side of Arcs of Omens, we're going to be looking at the Dark Angels. So of the Dark Angels, we know they are, of course, a very secretive chapter. The Horus Heresy was a bad time for them. Half of their legion turned against the Imperium, and they are now sworn to hunt them down. But my theory is that we will see Azrael face up against Angron. He'll be brought low by Angron. He will be saved, though, by the Watchers in the Dark, taking him to a place where he can be safely crossed over to the Rubicon and become Primaris. And then, after that, back on the rock, he will be approached by the head of the Watchers in the Dark, and bringing with him a less than welcome guest. That guest will be Cypher, Lord of the Fallen, who has come to finally get the redemption he's been seeking for 10,000 years. And the only way he'll get that redemption is by fulfilling the prophecy and, drumroll, reawakening the sleeping Primarch Lionel Johnson, which leads into book 3, which will be Lionel Johnson. And so, yeah, basically we'll see him come up. He'll unite the Blood Angels and the Dark Angels into a vicious crusading force. There's rumours that we're going to see the return to the Angels of Death, which was a codex which first introduced the Blood Angels and Dark Angels, but had them that you could take Blood Angels and Dark Angels in the same force, which is really cool. I don't have a copy of it, but I'd like to, just to read and really get a good feel for the old lore. Excuse me. But the only copy of Angels of Death I have is the old 6th edition supplement, which had rules for a lot of the Firstborn Legion, Firstborn chapters. So the Ultramarines, the Dark Angels, I don't have Dark Angels, Blood Angels, they have their own stuff. I had Imperial Fists, White Scars, Iron Hands, Salamanders, and the like. But yeah, that's my theory. So we're going to, like I said, we'll wrap this up soon. We're going to see 9 books in total, I think. That will be, I think there's going to be 2 this year. They're going to try and squeeze out 2 before Christmas and New Year. Which will be Abaddon and Angron, and of course we're getting World Eaters next year. Then that leaves us 7 books, which takes us roughly to July. So if we see Abaddon end of this month, which will be probably next week, so maybe tease on Sunday for that. We'll see Angron just before or possibly after Christmas. Vashtor in January. February, we'll see Farsight. March, we will see either Tyranids or Drukhari. Then the other one of those in May. And June, we will see Sanguinius / Dante. Then we're Azrael in July. And then finally, did I miss May? But yeah, finally, we will see the Lion. And he will be bringing the bridge into 10th. And we will see 10th. I'm going to put in August, September time, the big summer release box. So that would hopefully tie us over, bring us over. So I think we had about roughly the same for the Psychic Awakening, but I think it's only like 6 or 7 books for that. But that did cover a lot more armies over those books. These books are going to be more focusing on the armies that have been neglected recently. I think, personally. But yeah, it's going to be a wait and see game. But I think I've gone on long enough because I'm feeling knackered. I could do with a drink. I should really have brought some water in here. But I am going to be wrapping up the video there, I think. So, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to have a good conversation with you guys about what you think is going to be happening with the Arcs of Omens. Let me know if you want to see any more videos about my other projects. I was planning on doing a little mini series for my Hoth board once I get that started properly. I need to finish stripping down the old board first. But let me know if there's any videos you'd like me to do for coverage of my projects. But yeah, other than that, just please do like the video, drop a comment down below. It goes a long way to help the channel out and costs you absolutely nothing. If you would like to help the channel out with supporting me, there is, of course, my Buy Me a Coffee. You could also drop me an email. There's an email in the video description. And we can have a good old natter that way. But yeah, if you don't want to help the channel out, of course, there are links in the description down below. There's my affiliate link for Curtain Games, which I keep forgetting to mention lately. And other than that, don't forget, of course, to subscribe if you want to keep up with me and my mad content. So I think I'll let you guys go. Thank you all for watching. If you've made it all this way, give yourselves a pat on the back from me. So I will see you next time. Goodbye.